Pitso Mosimane and Kaizer Chiefs is on the agenda again. Not my agenda, but some people's agenda. And obviously, the talks and the rumors of him being linked with Kaizer Chiefs are going to surface. But I'm here to just burst your bubble and talk about why Pitso Mosimane will not be coming to Kaizer Chiefs. And it's not just about him, but it goes back deeper. And I'll make an example with things that are currently happening at Kaizer Chiefs right now. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pelo, I am your host, and this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Khosi Football Club. By the way, this nice Adidas shirt, I got it. A parent bought it for me because I was a good coach to their children. So shout out to me. Anyways, we are not there. Where we're going to talk about the finances because that's where it starts. And when I talk about finances, I want to break it down into two sections. The first one, you remember Muzi, scorer, who ended up going to TDC, who was part of Atazwane's technical team. You remember Omatibe, who was part of Atazwane's technical team. You remember Dylan Shepard was also part of Zwane's technical team. All of those guys, when Chiefs parted ways with Atazwane, had to be moved around and be kept in the club so that they can keep their jobs. As it stands, these are the unfortunate news for those of you who think those coaches would be gotten rid of in the next few days. They might not be going anywhere because Kaizer Chiefs a few weeks ago released a statement. There's an internal issue with Nabi. We know they suspended him because they said his papers were fake, and then they discovered that they were wrong, and then they had to unsuspend him. But then Nabi was like, I'm leaving the team because you guys don't respect me, and now you are lying about me and all of that stuff. But even now, the settlement for him to leave Kaizer Chiefs has not been dealt with because it's just going to be expensive. Now imagine having to talk about with Nabi about paying him off so that he can leave, and now you add Cedric Kaze, now you add Khalil Ben Youssef, now you add Umzugi, now you add Usachi. So you add 4 people to that. You see how problematic this could be for them. So now they're in a situation whereby they might have to pay out 4 people, or they might have to still choose and say, we're keeping the goalkeeper coach, we're keeping the fitness coach. The fitness coach, by the way, who wanted to leave beginning of the season. Now, you have 2 assistants who are currently the co-coaches who would have to be paid off if they were to leave, and you are still left with the other 2. So you see, from a financial point of view, which Kaizer Chiefs always talk about, it does not make sense to them to let go of these coaches, especially since they can't send them to TDC because they already sent other people to TDC. That's one aspect. But let's just say they were able to get rid of these guys and say, you know what, we're just going to pay you off because we're sick and tired of you. Okay, they pay them off. Now Pitso Mosimane comes in. Do we actually think that Pitso Mosimane is going to tolerate what happens at Kaizer Chiefs? I paused Lapo for dramatic effect. Do you really think that Pitso Mosimane will come into Kaizer Chiefs and will say in January, okay, right now I am happy with this position and that position, but I need, let's make an example. I need a creative number 10 who's experienced 26, 27. So someone who's in their prime and is a number 10. Where are they going to get that player? And then Pitso is like, yeah, I know this guy who plays in Egypt for Wydad. Let's go get him. I'm making a random, not in Egypt, I'm in Morocco for Wydad, right? Or he just makes a random player who's available that Chiefs would have to pay for, though, if they wanted him. And they have to pay 15 million rands. Chiefs have said it publicly that for them to sign someone, it has to make business sense. And I saw someone who's pushing the agenda of Pitso coming to Chiefs getting offended when we say Chiefs won't get Pitso because it won't make sense. And it's like, you are making Pitso seem like he's unreasonable. No, we're not saying he's unreasonable. We're saying Pitso Mosimane has standards. And if his standards are not met by Kaizer Chiefs, he will not tolerate that. And he's an outspoken coach. So if he's unhappy, he would come out and say it. Same thing that happened with Nabi, by the way. He came out publicly and expressed the fact that the quality of the players was just not good enough. Few weeks later, we heard Jessica Mtang talking about, oh no, we got Nabi the players that he wanted. And then you knew there were cracks. And now, 2 months after that, stories were made up about Nabi not having a license. While we know that's a lie because it was checked and it was verified that he got his UEFA Pro license through the Belgium FA. He didn't even do it like Uguti had a KEF Pro. No, it's the highest qualification in coaching. And somehow stories were made up about him because they just couldn't tolerate the fact that he wanted what he wanted. And even for him to stay, remember he said he would leave if Chiefs did not get him the players that he wanted. Did he not leave? He left. And Chiefs had made up stories. So I see collab because I know personally from no cut. I know Uguti Unabi was planning to stay. That I know for a fact. But the issue that has happened is that Chiefs were still not happy with him because of one reason or another. So they let him go. But let's move before I reveal things that are not supposed to be public. So the other thing about Pitso Mosimane is that Chiefs already ignored Nabi. I mean, not Nabi, Mosimane. We all know this. You remember Mosimane, before he went to, what's this country? Before he went to coach in Iran, you remember before that, he was linked with Chiefs. He ended up leaving. But before that, even after he left Al Ahly, he was linked with the Chiefs. He came back from Iran, was linked with the Chiefs. It's not happened. Like, it has not happened. Why would they choose that now, finally, is the time for them to do it? Because the reasons that they had a year ago, the reasons that they had 2 years ago about Pitso being Pitso are still valid to this day. So it's not like, oh, now they're going to go, yeah, we're changing our minds. Because they never change. Number 3, control issues. This is not, it goes beyond financial issues. It just goes control issues. One of the reasons why coaches like Gavin Hunt could not last at Kaizer Chiefs, it's not because he was a terrible coach. Yes, he doesn't play the most attractive football. But for KEF, as an example, you just need to be well structured and be able to defend aerial balls and set pieces, and you'll be fine and deal with the physicality and the time wasting and all the annoying stuff. But the speed of the game in KEF games, it's not that much. And that's what Gavin Hunt said when he was at Kaizer Chiefs. He says he told them, listen guys, we have a chance of winning the KEF Champions League here. Just bear with me. And I did not sign any players. And what did they say to him? They were like, no, finish top 8, forget about the Champions League. This was before the group stages. He got through the group stages and was like, hey, we actually have a chance. They still wanted top 8. And when he was out of the top 8 before the season ended, they fired him, replaced him with Zwane. And at that time, he had taken the team to the semifinals. They fired a guy who was 4 games away from winning a sister. In fact, 3 games away, because during that era, there was only one final. So 2 semifinals, Zwane wins the one away and then comes back, he draws the other one. And then we go to the finals, they bring Baxter and then they mess the whole thing up. So why? It's because they wanted the top 8, he wanted something bigger. And he knew that we had a better chance of winning a star than finishing top 8. But they were like, no. We wanted the top 8 and you are insisting on this, so we can't control you. Get out. Control issues. Pitso will not be controlled. Number 4, there are a lot of other coaches that are bending backwards to get this deal. We've covered this. There's a coach we talked about 2 weeks ago who's already on some I have experience. This is how you structure a team and blah 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 and blah blah blah. So they have other options. Not to mention the fact that they have the coaches that they are currently keeping. And yeah, I don't even want to talk about that. But the last thing that I want to talk about with regards to Pitso is right now, when you think about a Kaizer Chiefs coach or what's expected from a coach, you are expecting someone, Kaizer Chiefs at least, most fans, someone who's not going to come in and build or start afresh. I think Pitso is a very good coach, but for him to leave Sundowns in a place where they are right now, like, well, I know Guti Bits or Abokato, so they've messed it up. But he was also a project coach who built Sundowns so that they don't just last for a year, but for years, which comes at a cost, which is the same thing that happened with Nabi. Unabi last season, what he was trying to do, he was trying to give the team structure at whatever cost. That means he was trying to fix the team and create chances. But that came at a cost of Kaizer Chiefs leaking goals. And he was learning and evolving, because one of the things that was done last season, Ox was about to be sent to loan to Marcus. But then he ended up surviving because he proved himself. And then with Ox returning, we had much better destroying in midfield. And when the season started, guess who was a starter in every game? Ox was there. So now Chiefs were destroying much better and not allowing teams to play. Hence the 5 clean sheets in the first 5 opening games. Chiefs had learned something. They were scoring 1 goal, 2 goals, but they were not conceding until the Sekhukhune game. So we're building into something that they've now disturbed. And if there is a coach who wants to come in and start building his own thing, how do you think the fans will react? And how do you think the management, who are very impatient, will also react to this? Would I like to see Pitso Chiefs? Yeah, sure. Do I think it's possible? Hell, no. But what do you guys think? Do let me know down on the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, Khosi, I'll pay you more.